Hey everyone, I have a really exciting video for you today. It is a video which has an idea that was inspired actually by Emily Noel 83, formerly known as Emily Eddington. She's very popular here on YouTube, and she's one of the first people I ever started watching here because her videos are just so thorough and her reviews are so honest, and I just love her channel so much. But she's done a couple of videos where she talks about dirt cheap products worth trying, and that's what today's video is going to be about. I have 10 products here with me. I have them in my awesome Adventure Time box. I just got this box at work. Oh, and by the way, all these products are under $10, so I just think that is so exciting. The first product I have is the e.l.f. High Definition Powder. Now, it is in the color clear, but I just use this for one reason, which is very specific. I use it to set the concealer under my eyes because I find that when I have I have dry under eyes, so when I set my under eye concealer with a regular powder, such as a face powder, something like this, even this, I find this to be too thick. This is not a thick powder by any means, but the skin under my eyes is so thin and so dry that I have to use something extremely finely milled, and that's what this is. And I don't use a little puff that comes with it. I just keep whoa, there's just like dust everywhere, or powder. I keep this little puff in there to keep it neat and keep the product, contained, but it just comes out through a sifter like that, and I use my Real Technique setting brush to set the under eye concealer, and it's great for that. I know that Makeup Forever has a little tiny jar of HD powder. Honestly, I've read up many reviews, I've done my research online, and I think that this is not only better, but it has so much more product, so that's amazing. And the next face product is the powder that I just mentioned, and this is a setting powder by Wet n Wild. It's called Wet n Wild Coverall Press Powder. I don't really like this little sponge thing that comes with it, but the powder is just so lightweight and wonderful. It's not too thick on the skin. It sets this makeup to a wonderful matte finish that's also very natural. It is a really great powder, and it's only $2.99, which I forgot to mention that this is only $6. You can usually find it at Target, but if you can't, it's available on eyeslipsface.com. And this is a foundation, the next thing, which is the Rimmel Match Perfection Foundation. My shade is 340 Nude. It's only $4.97. They have so many colors in this line, and it has a really nice dewy finish, and I find it hard to find a good dewy foundation for so cheap, and mine is pretty used up. I love it, and it blends very nicely on the skin. That's another thing, and I don't think it oxidizes. I tried another Rimmel foundation. It's called Clean Finish. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, probably because it oxidizes like crazy, and it'll turn your face orange if you use it, but this doesn't oxidize, and it does have SPF 15, but I always use an SPF moisturizer anyways, so this is really great. Blends very nicely. So moving on to a bronzer. Okay, if you've been on YouTube or you've ever read any blogs or anything, you've probably heard about this, which is the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzer. And the reason why this is so great is because it's a matte bronzer that looks very natural on the skin. A lot of bronzers that they sell have a little bit of sparkle in them, and that's not really the most natural thing to be putting all over your skin to warm up your complexion. But this is amazing. This really does live up to its hype because it applies the skin so nicely. It looks so natural, and it's only what, $2.99 at the most. I got it at CVS. This goes on amazing. So moving on to some eye things. These are the Essence eyeshadows. Now these are the singles. I have Metropolitan, which is a sparkly eyeshadow. And the pigmentation is really good, as you can see. Wow, that's pretty intense. And then I also have Party All Night, which is, oops, upside down, which is a metallic eyeshadow. And this is a really great lid shade, just because it's so metallic and beautiful. There's Party All Night. And then the last one I have is Back to Khaki, and this is also metallic. This is probably the first one I got. I have only found these at Ulta here in the States. There's Back to Khaki. I've only found these at Ulta for about $2 to $3. When I was in Europe, I saw these everywhere, and I wish I would have gotten more while I was there. I just kind of figured, do I really need more eyeshadow? But these are really good quality, especially for the price. Like, look how pigmented that is. This is a German brand. It's called, it claims to be Europe's #1 brand. And I believe that because their stuff is awesome. Which brings me to my next thing, which is an 8-pan eyeshadow palette by Essence, and it is called Sun Club. And again, the pigmentation is very good on here. Just a nice variety. Like, look at that. That is just such a good quality product for only $3. So that's amazing. Another eye product is these Revlon Illuminance Cream Eyeshadow Quads, and I feel like no one really talks about these anymore. These are really great cream eyeshadows to use as a base. I always use a primer underneath them anyways, just because I don't want the cream eyeshadow to crease. But if you set these with a powder eyeshadow, you're not going to have any problem. And, okay, so I have a few colors. I only ever see them at Walmart now. I don't have them at my Walgreens anymore. I have Wild Orchids, which is these really pretty purples. Not Just Nudes. I have Hit Pan on that color right there because it's such a great base color for my all over the lid shade. This is a little bit similar, but not really quite the same. This is Skin Lights. That looks a lot like MAC's Bare Study, which I have, the paint pot. That looks like MAC Rubenesque paint pot, which I don't have, but I can tell that it looks really similar. And these are just gorgeous, gorgeous eyeshadow bases, and they last all day, especially if you use a primer and set them with a powder eyeshadow, which is really how they're meant to be used. They're not meant to be used on their own like the Maybelline Color Tattoos, but these are much softer than the Maybelline Color Tattoos, and it makes blending much easier. And they are sheer, but that's all you really need for a good base, right? But they just add a wonderful pop of color. And this is Moonlit Jewels, so they're all jewel toned. It's also really nice that it comes with a mirror. There's my webcam. Okay, so another really, really amazing eyeshadow base, which is actually a matte finish, is the Jordana 12-hour Made to Last eyeshadow pencil. And I like this a lot better than the NYX Jumbo Shadow pencils because this glides on like so creamy. It just glides on. And it has like a nice moist feel to it. You know, it doesn't drag on like the NYX Jumbo eyeshadow pencils, which I'm not really a fan of because of the reason why I just mentioned, and also the packaging just falls apart, like the little lid cracks. But this is, you know, held up. I have the shade Continuous Almond, which is the only shade I have from this line, and these set immediately, and so they serve as a great base, and they really do last 12 hours. They're amazing. These are only $3 at Walgreens. Like, you cannot beat that. I think this is a really great alternative for MAC's Painterly paint pot, but I think this is such a wonderful alternative. The only thing I don't like is you have to sharpen it, but it's so great that I just really don't mind. Yeah, this is a great color to put underneath any kind of eyeshadow you have, and it is by Jordana, which comes from the same company as Milani. So Milani has some products like these, and I think they even have like some really similar colors, but these are a lot cheaper, so I'm going to buy these from now on. So these are the NYX Mega Shine glosses. I have 3 colors here, and they're all really, really pretty. They are very pigmented, very creamy. They have a pleasant smell. They have so many colors, and they're only $5 at Ulta, so I highly recommend these. They are very shiny. This one is a frosty one called French Kiss, but it's not overly frosty. This is a great nude gloss to put over any nude lip color, and it's Sugar Pie. And this is a really fun bright pink called La La. These Kate Moss Rimmel London lipsticks, the Lasting Finish lipsticks. The only regular Lasting Finish one I have is this, and it's called Airy Fairy. And this is a classic. It's just a really pretty baby pink. It's kind of warm. It's got some gold flakes in it. And now these matte ones that come in the red tube, these are amazing because they're matte without being overly dry, and I just adore them. I recently got this shade. It's kind of a fun orange that I'll probably be wearing in the spring. That's 109. And then this 104 is a nice pretty matte rosy mauve shade. And yeah, I mean, they really do last a long time, and they're so inexpensive, no more than $4 or $5 at Walgreens, or maybe even you probably find them at Walmart too. But these matte lipsticks are matte without being overly drying, which is honestly really rare in a matte lipstick, especially in the drugstore. So yeah, those are all my products. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for another video coming up soon. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.